Welcome to Beauty Flip. I'm Edda, award-winning stylist, coach, and healer. I'm here to hack the scripts that keep you down, keep you frustrated, and help you unleash the beautiful, divine power that you carry with you every single day. We are diving into how to make powerful goals and vision that actually draws you forward. And it's not what you think. Because ultimately, today, I'm going to invite you to look at a perspective that is deeply wise, one that speaks to you so powerfully. So let's dive in. Welcome. Okay, so I promised you that we would go deeper into how to create really beautiful, powerful, whether we want to call them New Year's resolutions or just goals in particular. And I'm keeping my promise. But I'm not just giving you more tips or steps to do a New Year's resolution or to create a vision that is lasting and powerful. I am going to give you a perspective. Remember, I said this last time. Perspective is really powerful. And if I had to say, perspective will literally guide you in everything that you do. So, depending on how you look or think about yourself, whether you think of yourself as someone who is whole and complete and is learning and growing, or you think of yourself as potentially broken and damaged, your goals would affect you dramatically. I hope that makes sense. If you're at work and your perspective is that you are maybe in a very tough job, but at the same time, you are there to learn, make a difference, to become better, regardless of what necessarily happens in a position or a role, versus thinking that, yes, things are tough and this has to do with the way my boss treats me or the way that I am not given major opportunities, and people just are not going to ever take care of me. Both of those perspectives really could be valid, but the first one is more empowering. And even if the second one were true, in any one moment, you have the power to learn, to grow, to become better. So I'm going to give you a perspective, and this is going to be a lot of conversations that we're going to be having this coming year, 2026, perspective and ways to think about yourself, to decide to see yourself. Because what I'm saying, yeah, I guess it's my ideas, but I invite them to see if they're yours too. And I think maybe you will decide they are what you believe too. For this episode, I am going to use the word God. And what I want you to know is that for some of you, that's fine. You're okay with that word. And others, I understand that is not a word that you would believe in or believe to even be true, or even might find to be detrimental. So I'm going to ask you to translate it to a word that actually is your word. So that might be higher self, inner knowing, deep self, true self, soul, inner light, inner guide, inner teacher, consciousness, divine consciousness. It could be the divine itself, the infinite, the source, the one, the all, the great mystery, sacred, the holy, the eternal, the breath. It could be Allah, it could be great heart, it could be universe, it could be creation, it could be life force, it could be nature, it could be the field, it could be the web of life, it could be a ground of being. The elements, the great mother, the great father, the great turning, higher consciousness, universal mind, cosmic intelligence, quantum field, unified field, source energy, divine energy, frequency of love, and field of awareness. It could also be the voice within. It could be a quiet knowing, an inner flame. It could be the heart of your heart. Whatever your word. And if I did not name your word, I just ask for you in, if you will, good faith, to translate it for me as I now speak about this perspective, this idea of what is the bigger perspective for us to use, to align to know, so that when we decide to learn, to grow, to push ourselves into new territory, to try anything new, to create our New Year's goals, that we do it with this perspective. Let's dive in. Let's just say God is on your vision team for new goals. I believe that God, divine spirit, higher self, divine consciousness, whatever you want to say, would say more like something like this. You are not here to win. You did not come down to earth to spend your lifetime trying to figure out how to win. You're not also here to lose. You are not here to rescue, or to be rescued. That is a doozy. I want you to just think about that for a second. You are not a victim, nor is anyone else. You are not here to perform worthiness, to actually kind of figure out how to get into the in crowd, or to outrun what you believe is your unworthiness. You are here first to remember. To remember that you are a living expression of something so vast and so loving that it actually is almost incomprehensible to us. And yet it is in every aspect of our life all the time. When we tap into and experience it, we know it, we feel it. And it could be a hug, it could be a smile, it could be kind words. It could be the most beautiful sunset. It could be a baby's laugh. It could be the most gorgeous forest of trees. It could be anywhere that you feel wonder and awe. Those are the moments that we do remember, that we are living expressions of something vast and loving. You are to remember that you are connected to every single thing you touch, that it is affected by you and you are affected by it. You are to remember that life is not a test. Nope. But it is the honoring of being someone who gets to have relationships, who gets to feel. You are here, divine source, coming down through multiple ways, whether human or a cat or a dog or a tree or a flower or a mouse or a living creature in the sea and beyond. You are here to experience what it is to be alive. You specifically are here to be human. You are here to feel, choose, create, to learn, to love, to repair, and begin again. You specifically are here to know what it is to be human, to feel, to heal, to create, to choose so many things, and then feel the consequences of your choices, to learn from those choices, to learn from those consequences, to love over and over and over again, to find so many different aspects of love, whether being the love of a child or a mother or a father or a sister or a brother or a lover of a pet or a lover of gardening or a lover of nature, a love. There's so many different ways you get to choose and experience love. And there's redemption in those choices that you make, because you are here to heal, to learn, to grow, to repair. And then once you do it, you are here to do it again and again and again. Unlike the craziness of trying to figure out how to relentlessly get up onto the uneven playing field and move further up it. You are here almost like a divine practice to live each and every day, preparing, learning, loving, growing, reset, and do it again. Think of the things that you've done in your life where you practiced. Remember, I said this last time. And practice more to make perfect or to make better. That experience of practice, 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 ultimately is the invitation in this practicing, learning, loving, choosing, repairing, healing. All of it is an invitation for you to grow your consciousness, not your scorecard. You are here to expand your capacity to see and feel clearly. In order to do that, you must act truthfully. And remember what I've said about true, not your truth or Edda's truth or the person beside you. Truth, that's not going to be what gets you to these greater levels of consciousness, clarity, and divinity. To act truthfully in the accordance of doing no harm to others. And when you see the choices that you make out of perhaps ego, winning, getting ahead, putting other people down, know that those will close your mind, close your perspective, lock you into the uneven playing field, give you only one option to survive, which I haven't mentioned it for a while, is the mind fuck math. There's more. I just want to say, hey, thank you, divine, God, Allah, consciousness, for this one. I love this. You're here to unlearn scripts. You are here to unlearn the scripts of things that you have been told to do that, well, to some degree, those scripts are there to help you work in society, be able to function with other humans. I mean, I get it. The scripts were written by humans basically in agreement that we will act in certain ways with one another so that we get along. But if you are open to unlearning the scripts and seeing what scripts actually speak to you, speak to the opportunity to grow your consciousness and not your scorecard, to speak in a way that you become more and more oriented to what I call the what so, the higher truth, you will begin to see that you are going to flip yourself into something more true of who you are. Something that you maybe didn't even know existed in you, or maybe you saw inklings in your childhood, or people have once or twice reflected, oh my God, I love when you're doing that activity because there's something about it that's so true to who you are. So I'm going to say it again. You are here to unlearn scripts that told you were small, that you were broken, that you were alone, that you must obey certain ways to do things because you are a woman, because you are Black, because you are brown, because you are not of a certain caliber of education, because you have not lost weight, you are too fat, you are too freckly, you do not have the right hair, you are not tall enough. You are here to unlearn these scripts, and these are just a smattering. They are a smattering of scripts. And you are here to flip into something that is very true, that you are beautiful, beautiful beyond any measure that you even have a clue. Not because you did your hair today, washed your teeth, brushed your teeth, and put on some makeup. No. Great. Icing on a cake. Love that. Have fun with that. No. You are here to flip the scripts into something far more powerful. so powerful that across millennia, people have wanted to quelch this truth that you are here. You are so absolutely divinely powerful. You are so absolutely made to be able to learn, grow, touch. And ultimately, there is a huge invitation from the divine saying, hey, come to my party, RSVP of the divine party, where even though still walking in this earthly plane, if you will, you begin to participate in the world, not to control, but to contribute. You do not anymore collapse into isolation, but you decide to connect, and you find so much love. You are not here to be powerful or overlord anyone. You are here to heal the biggest cracks and schisms in your divine spirit that you may not even know. And I can tell you, as a healer, there are times that we are healing multiple lifetimes. And ultimately, at some greater dance that we've all been invited, that we all said, yeah, I'm going down to earth, I'm going to do this thing. We come here because we are trying to heal humanity and get into right order. Right order. Not righteousness. No, not righteousness. Right mind, where we are oriented to the things that I'm saying in far greater, deeper, more powerful, personal ways that you speak to the Creator, the Divine, the Holy Spirit, in partnership with angels, or if you don't like that word, angels, with great healing, powerful energy. You are here to participate in the world, not dominate it. You are here to contribute, not control, connect, not collapse. You are here to walk as a creator every single day. And in the face of some really hard days, you have a choice to make. Am I going to heal? Am I going to create? Or am I going to choose to be a victim? Whether you choose, you will find yourself that you begin to shape your life from the inside. Your life becomes so much more robust. It might look exactly the same. You might not have any more titles. You might not be any more important or anything, but you will demand and feel a greater love for yourself, humanity, the earth. And then you will choose that you get to live your life facing fear, but choosing to live beyond fear. And right now, there is so many people who are turning out fear as if there is no tomorrow, which is what they want you to believe. There is no tomorrow. So in the face of your fear, your daily fear, the things that actually are very fearful, people rejecting you, you potentially getting fired, you needing to find better income, better housing. I am not saying that this is easy. I'm not saying like, hey, take this RSVP from divine and you're going to have the easy life. I'm not saying that. I'm saying live your life, live it with the intent that you will choose truth over the illusion that is present every single day. All of this is an illusion. That's why it doesn't work. That's why we feel it. We feel it in our very guts that we know that we have to be not ourselves in order to function in the game, the uneven playing field. And for some of you, you think, what the heck? But I want to name for every single human being that uneven playing field is there waiting all the time. And the only way to get off of it is to choose what I say again, the divine truth, the greater what so, to sit with yourself and see how you are not a victim, how you do not need to rescue anyone, how you need to learn, heal, and love. Period. End of sentence. Learn, heal, and love, and become a light to live your life to the greatest levels of joy. Joy is so powerful. Joy is one of the most powerful things that you could ever do. Joy is fucking rock star shit. In this, you become more fully yourself, a self that you may not even know. I can tell you, as I continue to practice this, there are things that just kind of almost blossom. That's a great word, because if we think about it, we're living like a tree that blossoms, or living like a flower that might blossom. And then, even when I told you the story, like the caterpillar turning into a butterfly, it was not there. So perhaps in its own little caterpillar life, it did the things that I'm asking for you to do, the ways that I'm asking for you to think about how you choose your goals and what you will live your life towards. This, my lovely little human beings, is not about perfection. This is about remembering who you are. Remembering and knowing who you are. Discovering. It's like you don't get to a place where you're like, oh, I remember who I was. It's also blossoming. But being on that journey to remember who you are. And then living from that remembering. Living from the knowledge, perhaps, that you discover inside. Discover from reading great authors and books. Discover from people who are great thinkers of humanity. That is where you will ignite. Your divine spark will come online. You will be so both maybe curious as well as pressed, but you will be alive in a way that you maybe haven't felt in a very long time. This perspective is what I have been leading you to. This, my lovely, lovely, lovelies, allows for you to see that everything is infinite. Because in any face of anything that could happen, there's always these things again to learn, to live, to heal and repair, to choose, to learn from what you chose, to live the consequences, and then do it all over again. I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful that we get to flip our scripts, damn, because I know some of the scripts I've had in my past. Ooh, wow, just really difficult scripts. Some of the things that each and every one of us have felt so deeply, perhaps painful, or so full of hatred or anger. And I do not think for 1 second, even though it might feel like it, God wants us to be suffering and punishes us. I think that is our own choosing. Not him sitting there like, nope, you gotta get it right. But for us to say, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to stay on the uneven playing field. I'm going to do the things that basically are in the face of what you're inviting me to do, what my actual body and my entire life force is already sort of, if you will, is deeply like written to be. So fight who you organically are, or come on the ride. Flip your script. Join the divine nature of who you are. Rip away the illusions. Become more of yourself. See the greater what self. Stop doing the fucking mind fuck. Wow, what a concept. Mind fuck math? Yeah, stop doing it. This is how you will live a beautiful, powerful life every day, always, no matter what faces you. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for hanging out with me. Next week, we're going to look at what it takes to build really cool, exciting things that just jazz you up. Soon, in the weeks ahead, we are going to have real live humans coming and joining. These people I call my heroes. They're not necessary celebrities or gurus, but they're everyday humans who are flipping their scripts that hopefully will crack you open and remind you what is possible. So stay close, stay curious, let's flip that script.